Did you know that over 60% of family offices now invest outside their home market? But most family offices are leaving millions on the table. They operate entirely within U.S. borders. They pay taxes they could legally minimize. They miss investment opportunities that could transform their wealth. In this video, I will explain why your family office must think beyond U.S. borders. I'm Santiago Cueto, board-certified international law expert and best-selling author. I've spent decades helping family offices navigate the complex world of international wealth management. What I've learned is that the families who thrive across generations are the ones who think globally from day one. Here's what happens when family offices stay purely domestic. You're subject to one tax regime. You're exposed to one currency. You're limited to one regulatory environment. You're vulnerable to one political system. The United States is an incredible place to do business, but it's not the only place. When you confine your entire operations to the U.S., you're essentially betting everything on one country's future. That's not diversification, that's concentration risk. I had a client who came to me 3 years ago. Their family office managed about $200 million. Every single asset was in the United States. Every bank account, every investment, every piece of real estate. They thought they were diversified because they owned stocks, bonds, and property, but they weren't diversified at all. They had geographic concentration. Then something changed in their industry. New regulations hit their sector hard. Their portfolio took a significant hit, not because their investments were bad, but because they were all exposed to the same regulatory environment. That's when they realized something crucial. True wealth preservation requires thinking beyond borders. Let's talk about taxes. The U.S. tax code is complex. It's also just one tax code among hundreds worldwide. Different jurisdictions offer different advantages for different types of income and assets. Some countries don't tax capital gains. Others don't tax inheritance. Some offer special regimes for holding companies. Others provide benefits for intellectual property. When you limit yourself to the U.S., you're playing with one rulebook. When you think internationally, you can structure your affairs legally and ethically using the best features of multiple systems. A real estate investment trust structured in one jurisdiction might face 30% taxation. The same trust structured differently in another jurisdiction might face just 15%. The bottom line is that it's important to remember, no matter where your income is derived in the world, taxes must always be paid. But how much depends on your investment structure. Be wary of anyone telling you they have a tax-free investment solution. That's always going to be a red flag. Now, if you're finding this information valuable, do me a favor, hit that like button right now. It helps more family office managers and high net worth individuals find this content. And subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future videos on international wealth strategies. Now let's discuss asset protection. The United States has a strong legal system, but it's also a litigious society. Lawsuits happen, judgments get rendered, and assets get seized. When all of your assets sit in U.S. accounts under U.S. jurisdiction, when all your assets sit in U.S. accounts under U.S. jurisdiction, they're all vulnerable to U.S. court orders. One lawsuit, one judgment, one creditor that can potentially access everything. Now, international structures add layers of protection. A properly structured foreign trust makes it significantly harder for creditors to reach assets. Not impossible, but harder. The creditor now has to pursue remedies in multiple jurisdictions. They have to navigate different legal systems. They have to overcome different procedural hurdles. This isn't about fraudulent transfers. This is about legitimate advanced planning. You set up these structures before any claims arise. You do it for the same reason you buy insurance. You hope you never need it, but you're glad it's there if trouble comes. I've seen families lose generational wealth to single lawsuits. I've also seen families preserve their wealth through properly structured international arrangements. The difference isn't luck, it's planning. Now, currency risk is real. The dollar is strong now, but currencies fluctuate, and they always have, they always will. When your entire wealth is denominated in one currency, you're taking a bet on that currency's future. Holding assets in multiple currencies provides a natural hedge. When one currency weakens, another might strengthen. You're not trying to predict the future, you're protecting yourself regardless of what happens. Then there are investment opportunities. Some of the fastest growing markets are outside the United States. Emerging markets offer returns you simply can't find domestically. Infrastructure projects in Asia, real estate development in Latin America, technology ventures in Europe. These opportunities exist, but you can access them effectively from a purely domestic structure. A global family office can move capital where the opportunities are. They're not limited by borders. They're not constrained by domestic investment options. They can go where the returns are best adjusted for risk. Different jurisdictions have different regulations. Some are more favorable for certain activities than others. Switzerland has banking privacy laws that don't exist in the US. Singapore offers tax incentive for family offices that manage significant assets. The Cayman Islands provides a stable legal environment for fund structures. Now, I'm not suggesting you move everything offshore tomorrow. That would be foolish. What I am suggesting is that you consider how different jurisdictions can serve different purposes in your overall wealth strategy. Maybe you keep your operating businesses in the US, where you have strong legal protections for intellectual property, but you hold real estate through structures in jurisdictions with favorable property laws. You maintain liquid assets in banking centers with strong privacy protections, and you set up trusts in jurisdictions with favorable trust laws for multi-general wealth transfer. This is sophisticated planning. It requires expert guidance, but the benefits can be substantial. The world is getting smaller. Capital moves globally. Information flows instantly. Opportunities arise everywhere. Your family office needs to think the same way. This doesn't mean abandoning the United States. It means complementing your domestic strategy with international thinking. It means using the best tools available regardless of where they're located. It means positioning your family's wealth to strive for generations in an increasingly interconnected world. The families who prosper long-term are the ones who adapt. They see the whole chessboard. They make moves that position them for success regardless of what happens in any single country. If this video helped you understand why international thinking matters for family offices, give it a like. Subscribe to my channel for more insights on wealth preservation and international business law. I'm Santiago Cueto, your Florida business attorney. Be sure to watch more of my videos right here.